Have you ever walked into a building and just felt an immediate sense of connection? Today, we're going to dive into the work of Unit0 Architects, an incredible international design firm that puts that exact feeling at the heart of their mission. They're really rethinking how our spaces can bring us all closer together.
This is it. This is the big question that seems to drive everything they do. And for Unit0, it's not just some abstract philosophical idea. It's about actually designing across borders to tear down barriers, not just physical ones, but cultural ones too, to really foster a genuine human connection.
And this global mindset isn't just talk, it's baked right into their very structure. Unit0 operates as a truly international network, with offices all across Asia.
So their story kicks off in Osaka way back in 2002. But from there, it's not just random growth. It's a really deliberate expansion into these amazing cultural hubs. First Saigon, then Hanoi, and most recently, Ceylon. Each new spot isn't just another office. It's like another vibrant thread woven into this growing creative fabric.
So what's the DNA holding this whole international collective together? Well, it really boils down to a few core principles that guide every single project they touch, no matter how big or small.
First up, and this is a huge deal in a field that's often dominated by a few star architects, is their principle of no hierarchy. In their studios, it's not about some top-down vision. No, it's a true team-based approach where every single voice has the power to shape the final design.
And that flat, non-hierarchical structure, it directly feeds their second big idea, boundless creativity. I mean, it makes sense, right? When you get rid of those rigid structures, you empower people to just shatter the conventional limits and experiment with new materials, new forms, and new ideas without being held back.
Okay, now this slide perfectly captures that whole idea in action. This incredible ceiling isn't made from some super expensive futuristic material. It's made from recycled plastic bottles. I mean, how cool is that? It's just a brilliant example of how no hierarchy gives people the freedom to see extraordinary potential in the most ordinary things.
But all that creativity is always grounded in a deep respect for place. This idea of cultural integration is key. It ensures their designs really, truly connect with their surroundings. They don't just drop a building into a location. They listen, they research, and they weave the local story into something totally new and forward-looking.
So, how does all this philosophy actually translate into the real world? Let's take a look at how these big ideas get built into physical spaces through a very hands-on process.
It all happens through this intense, up-close collaboration. On the left, you can see the team literally on the floor mapping out ideas at full scale. And then on the right, they're presenting this incredibly complex, detailed model. You can just feel the constant process of dialogue, research, and creation happening.
And because their process is so rigorous, they can tackle a huge range of projects, applying that same core philosophy, whether they're designing a piece of furniture or an entire building. Just take a look at these small tables. The level of detail and precision here is just immense. And what's really remarkable is that Unit0 brings the same obsessive attention to every single project. Whether it's an intimate space like their Saigon Cafe, a complex housing project, or even their foundational work on educational facilities. The scale changes, but that mindset, it never does.
All right, now let's see what happens when all these ideas, collaboration, creativity, and that obsessive detail come together on a truly monumental scale. We're going inside one of their most ambitious projects yet, a major airport terminal.
For a project this massive, the design doesn't start with a sketch. It starts with data. What you're looking at here is their analysis of the sun's path throughout the entire year. This data directly informed the design of the building's facade, creating a structure that intelligently responds to its environment for maximum comfort and efficiency.
And this is the result. All of that deep, technical analysis translates into this breathtakingly modern and sophisticated facade. It's just pure architectural poetry, born from data.
And when you step inside, you see that same architectural language just flowing seamlessly from the outside in. Look at the arched ceilings, the patterns in those dividers. The column shapes and circle openings are echoed everywhere, creating this totally cohesive and immersive experience.
But what is this all supposed to make you feel? Well, the center hall soars 2 stories high for a very specific reason. The firm's own notes say it's designed to bring the sense of sublime. This isn't just a hallway, it's a space that's been literally engineered to inspire a feeling of awe.
So beyond connecting people and connecting form with function, there's one last question this amazing project answers.
How does a massive structure like this connect with the very land it sits on? The answer, again, is just so poetic. The entire layout was conceived as a symbolic drop of water hitting a surface, with the building and the landscape around it forming the ripples that expand outward. It's a beautiful metaphor for the airport's role as a starting point for countless journeys that ripple out across the entire world.
And this really brings us full circle, doesn't it? From a core philosophy of connection to a global network of creators, Unit0 is constantly looking ahead.
Ultimately, what Unit0's work really suggests is that the best architecture doesn't just serve the present. It anticipates the future. They create spaces that actively shape how we're all going to interact with our environment, our culture, and with each other. And it leaves us with a pretty big question. How can the spaces we design today create the connections we're all going to need tomorrow?